everybody. Oh, can you hear me? Yeah, okay. Making sure. Sorry. Already fucked up. Hey everybody, we're back with Bluebeard's Bride Volume 3, and I'm going to turn it over to Kiana. Yeah, hold on just a second. It's not. Okay, hold on just a second. Why is it only picking up me? You can keep. Yes, you can. Hold on just a minute. I'm gonna.
I'm doing vocal warm-ups.
I think they can hear you saying dick now. Pretty sure that they can hear you saying dick now.
Cool.
I love all of you so much.
Okay.
What a great start. Oh.
Okay. I have never said anything inappropriate in my life.
All I say are inappropriate things ever.
Okay, but hello. Welcome to Bluebeard's Bride. I'm very excited to be rounding out this trilogy of Bluebeard's Bride with this all-ladies cast. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. So let's quickly go around and meet our lovely people here, who they are and who they're playing, and then we'll dive into the game. So first off, let's go over to Katie, because you're right there.
I'm Katie. I am playing the witch today. I'm very excited. Be spooky.
Spooky. And then we're going to go over to Lauren. Hello.
Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm very appropriate. I'm Not Salty Ginger over on Twitter, she, her pronouns. And today I am playing just very off brand for me. I'm playing the Fatale.
Super off-brand. The most off-brand. And let's move over to Emma. Yay, this is your first time playing this game.
It's my first time playing this game. And the last time I played on Katie's channel, it was probably the best time I ever had on a stream. So I'm so happy to be here. I'm Susie King 85 over on Twitter, and I am playing something which is literally off-brand. I'm playing the Virgin.
I mean, yes.
Well, you're a Bluebeard's Bride virgin. So I mean,
yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
And last but not least, we have Lindy.
Hi, I'm Laugh Love Lindy, and I'm going to be playing the Annie Moose. And I'm real excited about it. I'm much more awake than the last time we started playing Bluebeard's Bride, so I'm also excited about that too. So just a whole lot of excitement.
And of course, I'm Kiana, and I am your groundskeeper. I am literally everything else in this game, which goes from the house to the horrors that haunt it. So before we begin, I would like to say that Bluebeard's Bride is a very in-depth and dark game. We are going to be touching on some subjects which may be sensitive for some people. Here's a reminder to everyone, which extends to the audience and to the players. Please take a break if you need to, and if you need to take care of yourself, please do that. The X and O cards are in play for my players. These are things that you can use at any point to indicate whether something is making you feel uncomfortable or whether you're okay with the content going on. Again, no matter what it is, I want to accommodate for you and your safety as a player, no matter what happens to your characters. So again, this is a dark game. Thank you for being with us here. And let's get into it, shall we? So, before we understand what this game is, we must understand the story behind it. The story of Bluebeard. And that once upon a time there lived a lord whose palace was so splendid and so richly furnished that even the sultans could not compare to it. He had dishes of gold and silver, sofas and chairs upholstered in the finest silk. The walls were adorned with every kind of curious antique. There was, however, something very odd about this lord. The color of his beard was a rich and shocking blue. His countenance was both distinct and unmistakable, and so he was never spoken of by his real title, which was grand and noble, but instead he was simply referred to as Bluebeard. He was a fearsome man with deep-set eyes, and he was known for having an uneven temper. Even so, Bluebeard had been married many times. No one quite knew what had become of each of his wives. In turn, there had never been a funeral at this palace that anyone living could ever remember. They simply vanished, and when time passed, he would marry anew. And one day, Bluebeard went hunting in the countryside near his estate. With the sun high, he came upon a dilapidated farmstead and wished to slake his thirst and rest. The farmers were eager to please their powerful lord and sent their lovely young daughter scurrying to serve him tea and bread. Bluebeard was immediately smitten with her beauty. He decided right then that he would take her as his wife. And for a week he entertained her among a cadre of other fine lords and ladies. No expense was spared, and his wealth was dazzling in the way a cobra dazzles a mouse. After that single hedonistic week, Bluebeard came to call with a marriage proposal. Bluebeard scared the young woman, but she couldn't let her family languish in poverty. And besides, maybe his beard wasn't quite that blue. And thus she accepted his proposal. And in short order, they were married at the palace, and such a sight it was. 1,000 white lilies decorated the pagoda for the ceremony. Incense burned throughout the night. And the young bride awoke the next morning at her bed alone, her marriage yet unconsummated. And let's meet our bride. As you see, our players here, they all represent a different aspect of the bride. They represent the fragments of her psyche, known as the sisters, and each represents a part of her. And so, in order to understand our bride, we must go around and see what exactly our bride looks like. So, let's begin with the Animus. Animus, tell me, what are the bride's hands like?
Bride's hands are very long and thin, almost bony to a certain extent. She's got a few calluses in places as she does a lot of mending and seamstressing work. And they're just very delicate, used to very delicate work, long, kind of almost spidery, but delicate, yet strong.
And what weakness do you give away when others hold your hands?
When others hold her hands, they seem strong, like she's got a good grip, but occasionally they twitch, like she's wanting to do something else with them. She's not just content to live in that moment. She always wants something more to do.
Lovely. And for Tao, what does the bride's mouth look like?
The bride's mouth, she has a very prominent Cupid's bow on her top lip, and the lips go very wide over her jaw. They're red, but not the pleasant red of something like a piece of fruit. They're red because she's constantly biting her lower lip, where there are almost little marks from her incisors on the bottom.
And how do others keep her quiet?
Physically, with their hands over her mouth, usually when she tries to talk, even if it's a hand on the shoulder or a look, that's where she can feel it.
And Virgin, what do the bride's eyes look like?
She has large eyes that are They always look just a little bit watery. They are porcelain blue, so light. It's hard to tell. And they have a look about them, not that she looks older than she is, but she's got this look of like tired sort of desperation. Like if you've ever really looked in the eye of like an elephant or a camel in a circus, like that.
And how do others know you want them when they gaze into your eyes?
Because I look away almost immediately.
Perfect. And which? What does the bride's hair like?
Her hair is almost, if you were to see it at a distance, you would probably think it was gray, but up close in the sun, it's this translucent platinum blonde, nearly white. And her eyebrows, her eyelashes, you would think maybe she has she's an albino, but she has color to her skin, but her hair is so fine and thin, and it's just this almost translucent.
And how do others like her to wear it?
Her mother hates the fact that she has her hair doesn't fall straight. It curls up in kinky curls, so she makes her pull it back, sort of half up, half down, so people can see her lovely face. Her mother wants her to be seen.
And now that we understand what our bride looks like, we must understand a little more about her life and how she has entered into this marriage. So, Animus, what are you leaving behind from your provincial life to become Bluebeard's bride?
She's leaving behind her crush. There is locally in town the milk boy, not the milkman, because he's not old enough yet, but the milk boy. He brings by the milk every week on the dot, every Tuesday afternoon, and she's developed a bit of a crush. She's always the one who tries to rush to the door to meet him, and moving away, he's not going to be there anymore. No more familiar, happy face.
And Fatal?
The Fatal leaves behind her makeup collection. And it wasn't things that she ever bought because they couldn't afford them. It was things that she made herself, probably along with her mother. Things that she, ground up herself, mixed the dyes for herself. But she's been promised much finer things at her new home.
And Virgin? What was left behind?
She always knew how to make most people happy, but she never figured out how to make her father happy. And now that she's leaving, she's worried she never will.
So she leaves behind her father. And the hope of making him happy. And which?
Behind their modest cottage is this old stone well that she would spend her days sitting beside and looking down into, and sort of counting the ripples, seeing if she could see the future. And she's going to miss that.
And now that we understand what she's left behind, we must understand why she left it behind. So, Animus, when you first met, what loving gesture did Bluebeard make that won you over?
He opened the door for her. Just that simple act of politeness and respect when she's normally looked over, or she normally does it herself. She normally opens the door. And if someone else opened the door for her previously, it was usually because they assumed she couldn't handle it. He did it out of appeared to be respect, politeness. So different. Struck her.
And Fatal?
After he opened the door for her, he placed his hand on the small of her back. All the boys in town were always too scared to do that.
And Virgin?
As he opened the door, I said, thank you. And he looked me in the eye and said, you're welcome. Nobody does that for me most of the time.
And Witch?
He gave me a flower when we first met. A flower that could only grow somewhere exotic, that he had traveled there, and it looked like the most magical thing I had ever seen.
And so with this understanding their relationship, of course, a good bride does not enter a marriage without a gift for her new husband. And so, Animus, what gift did you present to Bluebeard before the wedding, and why did you choose this?
She decided to do some needlework, since she was always doing a lot of sewing and mending and repairing. However, she often lacks the patience for needlework, as cross stitch can be very time consuming and intricate, and it's not the same as mending a sock or some seams. And so she did it to kind of try to calm her frustration with it, maybe try to get over it, since she's kind of moving on into a new life. It didn't work. There's some blood spots on the patchwork, but it shows her effort to try to live this new life with him. The fact that she made him a gift using her skills, even if she isn't very fond of them.
And Fatal, what did you gift him?
Before the wedding, he came to the room and said he would stay behind the door, but I opened it and gave him a hidden kiss under my veil.
And Virgin, what did you gift Bluebeard?
I gifted Bluebeard. I found an old fishing rod that used to be my father's, and I did it up and made it all cleaned up because I wanted him to know that this is where my father always liked to be alone. He liked to relax. When he came back, he felt more centered, and I want to make sure that he knows that he can do that with me too.
And Witch?
I gave him a little piece of cloth, sort of similar to a handkerchief, anointed with sweet smelling oils, that I had performed a ritual on for protection.
Lovely. And now that we understand the bride and her life, of course, entering into any relationship can be scary. And so we must see what each sister thinks. Animus, do you trust your generous husband Bluebeard, or do you hold unkind suspicions? And why?
I don't trust him. I mean, he seems really nice and all, but no one's ever been that nice to me. It's got to be a ploy, some kind of trick, trap. It can't last, if anything. So, just waiting for his temper to snap, like I know mine's going to at some point. It's a matter of time, really.
And Fatal?
I trust him. If only, maybe, because I want to.
Virgin?
I don't trust him because I don't know how you would trust somebody yet. How do you do that? I don't know.
And which?
I don't trust him because when I first met him, he had this aura of mystery and magic about him, and it scared me. And the ritual on his handkerchief was not for his protection but my own.
Wonderful. And now that we understand the relationship that these sisters have towards Bluebeard, we must look a little more into the relationship between sisters. That while they all share one body and technically they are all parts of one soul, they each have their own relationship with each other. And though they may love each other like all families do, there may be some strained issues. And so, Animus, you hold yourself apart from your sisters, but who is the only one who soothes you? And explain the time they calm down your rage.
Oh, that would have to be the Virgin. She's just very calm, and even though she's unsure sometimes, she always knows the right motions to go through to bring me back down to a place where I can think through things rather than just act without thinking. Like there's this one time where when we were kids, and someone was making fun of my hair, and I just slugged them. And I was about to beat the pulp out of them on the ground, but I thought about it. Virgin reminded me that, hey, this kid's younger than us. We've said mean things too. Just let it go. You know, maybe they didn't know any better. Maybe we can do better. And I was like, okay, you're right. You're right. I should take 6 seconds to think things through. And then I probably forgot that the next time I got angry. But the Virgin is the one who can calm me down.
And while the Virgin is the one to calm you down, you were envious of another sister. And explain why you can never compare to them.
Envious of the witch. She's got this subtlety and mysterious aura about her. I can ever do that. I'm just always blunt and forward and go for it. I can't comprehend that level of subtlety, and it's just very jealous.
Very well. And now we understand Animus's relationship to everyone. Fatal, your sisters are who they are, boring and predictable. But one of them has no idea of a woman's true power. And explain why you wish to teach her.
The Animus has no idea of a woman's true power. She tries to imitate the power of a man, and all it does is disfigure us. She needs guidance.
And while you wish to teach this one sister, you try to draw in another with your seductive aura. And explain how you hide your insecurities from her.
I try to draw in the Virgin, and it is solely because of my insecurities. I feel like everything is so easy for her sometimes. She glances away from someone and they're smitten right away, but I have to work. So I try to I try to get her to think that she is more naive than she actually is.
Good to know. And Virgin, you trust your sisters for the most part, but one of them blackens your innocence with her every word. And explain how she became your enemy.
That is most definitely the fatale, because she makes me wait and talk to the milk boy. And I don't know what to say to the milk boy, but every time he comes around, I'm there and I'm waiting, and it's awkward, and other people might get ideas and he might get ideas. And the last time I was there, she made me pull up my skirt a little bit. And I don't know what I was trying to do. I'm a betrothed woman. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit.
And while this one sister is your enemy, another of your sisters often helps you play tricks on the others. Explain a time when she was your ally in mischief.
I think the animus is my ally sometimes. And we get to go out together and just run and feel free, and we pick things for the witch that are useless, but sometimes we have them, and it feels good.
I love it. And witch. Your sisters are not nearly as important as power, but one of them is a useful tool. Explain how they helped your pursuit of blasphemous craft.
The fatale is a useful tool, because it's the fatale that brings in these helpless, innocent souls with her aura, and she gets them close, so all it takes is a little pinprick of my needle to get the blood that I need for rituals.
And while the sister is a useful tool for you, another draws an evil to her. Explain what you have done to keep that evil at bay.
I think the animus draws an evil to her. There's so much unbridled anger inside of her, and she's so destructive, and she doesn't trust people. She is too violent to trust, and I think that the way I keep that evil at bay is every night before we go to bed, I anoint myself with these oils with the flowers that the Virgin and Animus pick for me to try to calm myself and keep the Animus at bay.
And now we understand not only our bride, but also the inner conflicts that exist within her, within every fragment of the soul. And so, as our bride wakes up, her husband is gone on a business trip, supposed to last a few weeks at least. You've been left with just a ring of keys to explore your new home, only told to not use this one small, little insignificant key. Never go into that room. But everything else is open to you. And thus, again, sisters, you may use your maiden moves at any point, but one of you will have at any given point the ring, as in you are the one who would be in control of her. You're able to describe the key that exits into a new room, as well as do anything else within your powers. So I'm going to roll as to which of our sisters will go first, and that will be the witch. So, as you exit out of your bedroom and into the stone cold hallways lined with warm candles and blue velvet curtains and carpeting. Describe to me the key.
I look through the key ring and push each key one by one, but I find one that just speaks to me. It is stamped with the figure of a raven on it into the metal. And up the body of the key, the long body, it has vines that twirl around it and sharp points that are supposed to be thorns that feel like they might actually prick my skin if I touch it the wrong way. They seem that sharp. And it's just this sort of rusted coppery color. It looks like one of the keys that might be older than others.
Okay. So, as you find the door that this key leads to, you feel it call for you and you insert key, unlock the door. You enter through, the door closes behind you. And so you are in a fairly darkened room, upon which goes the ceiling goes up much higher than you expect it to. And at the tops, you see skylights that shine down a little bit of light, although it is cloudy outside. But lining the walls of this kind of dome-esque room are bird cages. You have found yourselves in perhaps a bestiary, a place to hold messenger birds. And all this of the same kind of copper of that key, all these cages that line almost every surface of the wall, feathers that are scattered across the ground that move out of your way as your dress swishes over them, displacing them. All of these feathers are black. And each of these cages, although you can see the bars, they all have cloth that have been draped um, to hide whatever is within them.
As I walk in, I think I'm weirdly at peace in here. It's dark and there's something lonely about this room that I relate with. And I look around and you said there was like cloth draped over some of the cages, right?
Yeah, so the ones that are, and it's a rookery. Thank you, Charlie, for that. The ones that are kind of within arm's reach of you.
Yeah, I think I immediately pull this cloth down, and I would like to investigate a mysterious object.
Okay. So you may ask me 2 of the questions on that list.
What memories does this item hold?
And let me get this straight. Are you investigating the cloth or the cage itself?
Cage. I've pulled the cloth off the cage to look at the cage. Yeah.
Okay. So within, you see no bird. You see again these feathers, long and black, that kind of scatter across, maybe a few droppings within as well. And as you kind of look in, you'll see a small little skeleton of a mouse, maybe some rodent that was in here, although mangled as if it had been eaten and then spat out. And so this holds the memory of a once living creature living in here. Likely, if you were to look at the having your familiarity with nature, a raven or a crow of some form, a corvid, um, that lived in here, was clearly well fed, and yet it's missing.
I hold the cloth to my chest and look around and feel my sisters, and I say, if this bird was so taken care of, where would it have gone?
There's plenty of room to fly around. Maybe it took a turn about the room.
The cage was closed.
Maybe someone let it out and then closed it behind it?
Could be. I want to open the cage and like reach in to grab the bones of the rat or mouse or but while I'm doing this, the question I want to know is, what about this item is odd or uncanny? So the cage.
So as you kind of reach in and you have to, it's quite a big cage. So you have to kind of reach your hand in the awkward angle. It's not quite at your arm level. But as you do so, you're more face to face with the structure of this cage, and how the beautiful brass wrought, um, brain. Thank you. Uh, wires are intricately twined, and as you look at it, and your eyes kind of draw upwards, you can't help but notice, but that the structure of this cage is just like the structure of this room. You see, it's almost the exact same proportions, and it is even the very top of the cage, little sections, as if to mimic um, the skylights above, enough to let in some light or whatever, but not enough to let anything through.
I grab the bones and hold them in my hand and then tuck them away for another time.
Really?
You never know when you might need to read the bones.
You could at least clean them first before you put them in our new fine gown.
Don't you want to keep something from home? We were never clean at home.
I like being clean.
I like bones.
I like this room. A fine display.
It's beautiful. Though, does it not remind you of a cage itself?
A cage is where you put something beautiful to look at.
Or you lock something away to keep it from the world and the damage that it could do, perhaps.
Was the cage locked?
No. The witch, like, moves away from the cage and I think just begins to go deeper into the room. Probably listening out for, like, the flapping of wings, if she can hear if there's any, like, live animal in here.
As you start to kind of venture further into the center of the room where you'd be right beneath the skylight, you hear not the sounds of wings, but the sounds of a little, almost choked out caw, very weak, coming from the cages.
Should we go see what that is?
I think so.
It might need help.
The witch goes to investigate, not investigate object, but just goes to look at where the sound's coming from.
as you go to investigate, yeah, you reach another cage that has been covered by cloth. Would you like to pull it off?
Yeah. Sure.
Why wouldn't we?
I think I'm much more hesitant pulling this. Like the first one, I probably just pulled it down. This one, I'm reaching slowly and just pulling it off.
So as you pull off this kind of heavy, thick, more utilitarian cloth than most of the stuff that you've kind of seen in this place, within it you see a raven, but small, and looks as if several of its feathers have fallen out in places. It's thin, perhaps not having been fed in some time, or sickly. And as you pull off the cloth, it kind of scooches itself back away from your side of the cage.
It looks awful. Maybe we should put it out of its misery.
Please don't get our hands dirty.
Why would you want to kill this creature? It could be saved.
It looks incredibly ill. If it can't be saved, it's just going to suffer.
Is there any, like, bird food, worms, any kind of thing like that around?
Yeah, as you kind of look around, you notice out in the corner, there seems to be something that's moving, but not as if it's a creature that's moving across the floor. You look closer, you see what may be a writhing mass of maggots eating into something in the corner.
You can feel the Fatal struggling to, like, with a gag reflex.
Yeah, the witch swallows it down. Walks over to the writhing pile of maggots. What a great descriptive word. And reaches down, and I think with her thin, long fingers, picks up a few of them, holds them in her palm, and takes them over to try to attempt to feed this raven.
Yeah. Unlike the raven, these maggots are fat with whatever they had eaten. They squirm in your hands, unsure what to do
Well,
in
she's
this surface.
picking up these maggots. Can I investigate the object they're swarming on top of?
Ooh, yes, you may. So you may ask me 2 of the questions on the list. So
Why did Bluebeard keep this item?
um, so as you peer down and look, you have to kind of pierce through these rising mass, and but you have a glimpse as the hole kind of opens, where the maggots have been pulled out, and you see what looks like to be bones and flesh, that might have been here for some time. It doesn't seem as if somebody just put this in here. But as you take so it feels like more out of negligence than anything, especially as you look closer and you see that it's a hand. well, what remains of her hand. And you can just see the slightest glimpse of a wedding ring.
Sisters, what did I tell you? I don't think we can trust this guy. And I'm going to kind of look closer at the ring. What memories does this item hold?
Um, as you look a little closer, and again you see that ring upon it. This could only be another bride. There are no, just the way that the hand is, what remains of it, at least what you can glean from it. This was a fine and delicate hand, not one of a servant or worker.
Mm-hmm. Sisters found a wedding ring from the previous bride under these maggots.
Are we... Is that supposed to... Should that worry us?
Well, I would be concerned if I was a body being consumed by maggots in a closed up, locked up room. Yes.
You'd be dead. You would have no need for concern.
Well, it's the process of getting to that point that concerns me. I'm concerned that we found a body in this state in this house. In a room with a dying bird.
I am running out of reasons why this would be a kinder ethical option.
I think as the witch is having this conversation, she's walking back to the raven with the maggots. Perhaps she was poking around outside of her cage when she wasn't supposed to be.
You're all so morbid. Perhaps the woman died of natural causes and someone not our husband. What cause would our husband have to bring this hand here? Maybe some deranged servant brought the hand here.
So you're saying there's deranged servants in this house?
Seems more likely than a deranged nobleman.
I don't like either of those options. Can we just live in a house
but there's
with no deranged people?
That would be nice, but you've all pointed out this hand and said it was cause for concern. I'm giving you a perfectly logical explanation why this would be here.
But why would it be in the one room we're not allowed to go in?
That's not this room.
Yeah, this is a room we're allowed to go in.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, then that's
You're already trying to break rules.
The virgin!
Would you like to break some rules today?
No.
Are you sure?
Well, no. If what we think is that what happened to this person is that they broke rules, I mean, I think I could. Could we go our whole lives without breaking a rule? I think so, right?
No.
We've already broke many rules, sister.
Have we?
I
Well,
think there's
we've
like
been
a
married-
knowing feeling between the witch and
Yep.
the fatal.
And we did also marry above our station. That's not, maybe not against the rules, but certainly not approved.
The witch reaches into the cage again and is going to try to feed this raven the maggots. And as I do, can I take stock?
Yes, you can certainly take stock.
What traps have been laid for the bride?
Ooh.
Ouch, giggle, Kiana.
I hate when she does it. I get so nervous.
As you reach your hand to offer out these maggots that kind of wiggle against your flesh, the bird tilts its head as if to regard you. Um, and that beak looks wicked sharp all of a sudden. And as it kind of opens up, you see that there are teeth.
Human teeth, Kiana? Don't say
Yeah, it
human
looks
teeth.
like it.
No, don't.
Human teeth in its beak.
Mm-hmm.
It's the bird from Wild Blue.
Sister.
I think when she sees this, she drops the maggots and stares at this and like tries to get a hold on how I think the witch is very curious and tries to get a hold on how this is made. How is this natural? Is this something that has been made in some weird image of a bird? She's trying to explore it. And when she gets sort of transfixed on this, Raven, I think the witch gets transfixed a lot. Oh, you guys are gonna hate me. I'm going to dirty myself with violence and reach in and just snap its neck.
Out of its misery.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think this should die a quick death.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with a dirty yourself with violence, roll plus carnality.
I rolled the worst you can roll.
Okay.
Shut up, Lauren.
The bird on its snoot.
Boop.
Those teeth are gonna feel real weird in your hand, Katie.
So that is a miss. And as you stick your hand in to try to grab at his neck, it opened up its beak, sharp beak, with its human teeth. And it sinks into your flesh. You are going to take 2 points of trauma as it bites off one of your fingers.
The Fatal is enraged and in shock inside, and she is calling the witch every vile name for a woman that she can think of.
You just feel this immense pain. But yes, there's pain from having our finger bit off. But there's pain of her pride being destroyed. She thought that she could do this and she could take care of this for her sisters, but she failed.
And as the
I think if it's okay, she's going to cry
Yeah.
out for help.
Okay. He'll cry for help. As you do, roll me resilience.
Well, technically it's a 0.
Uh-huh.
It's still a 1 because you were getting
right,
2
right.
and then minus
Yeah,
1.
Roll one.
No, it's fine.
Oh yeah, that's true. 1 + 1 is 2.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
This is what I get for yelling at Roll20 all the time.
Yeah.
All right.
So, as you cry out for help, nobody comes to the door. Nobody is there to witness. Only you and your sisters as this bird takes your pinky finger, and just taking it, throws its head back, and the finger goes down its gullet. You can see within its immense, emaciated form. And as it does, it just kind of shakes itself out, and it shifts, and you see it look a little healthier, and you see where you expect claws on one of its feet. There's now a very small little hand.
Yeah, that's a definite shiver from fear.
All right, and with a shiver from fear, which, name the thing that you are most afraid of will happen.
I'm afraid that I'm going to end up. I've already lost a finger. I'm afraid that I'm going to end up like the hand that we found being eaten by maggots. I don't want to die yet. And I think there's also a little bit part of me that's scared my sisters hate me now.
And so, with the shiver from fear, I must tell you how it's even worse. You see, it's not just about being eaten away and this bitten piece, a hand maybe, or maybe a foot or something else being left behind. As you watch this thing transform, realize that it's not just going to eat you, it's going to take you. And it's going to take bits and pieces of you to remake itself into something new. And so, with the shiver from fear, either you keep the ring and choose two of the following options, or pass the ring and choose one. And in fact, the bride with his perversion, that has the brides in his clutches right now, or it speaks to you, and you take one trauma.
I think the fear that she feels of it taking parts of her to become something new. She's not really scared of herself, of that happening to herself. She's scared of that, it taking parts of her sisters, which is all she has. And I think that it speaks to me. I hear this unspoken threat that it will take these pieces of me, my sisters, away.
All right. You take another trauma. And would you like to pass on the ring?
Yeah, I'm going to pass it to the Virgin.
Okay. Version, you now have the ring, which means you can use any of the ring moves or the exit moves now, as you are in control of the body, or at least until you pass on the ring.
Right.
So you just watched this bird eat your pinky finger
Eat our pinky finger.
and grow a hand.
And grow a hand. It's my job to find the beauty in things. And I think the most beautiful thing that can happen is don't like it, but this thing needs to die.
Okay. So
That is-
you dirty yourself with violence.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So roll plus carnality, whatever your modifier for that is.
What did I put down there? +0. There we go. Cross your fingers. 6.
Unfortunately, that is yet another miss.
Oh no.
Why can't we kill this bird?
I'm not used to doing this sort of thing. I mean, I've killed a goose before, but that's for like Christmas dinner.
So as you
We might need help.
as you attempt to reach in and once again try to snap this bird's neck, it manages to, perhaps re-energized by its meal, it scurries to the side of the cage with the door, the little latch, and with its new hands, it's able to unlock it
Mm.
and flutter out free.
That's it. You're all inept. I mark a trauma and I take the ring.
Okay, you mark a trauma. And Virgin, you can feel the ring being pulled from you. And now the Fatale has it.
Of course it's you.
I don't know what is wrong with all of you.
I'm sorry.
Always what our fathers said. Gosh, I'm so just like him.
I just wanted to put it out of its misery.
That's how you end up like that. And I point back at the other hand. Kiana,
Yes.
is it possible to exit at this point? Or
Yes. You can totally. But again, if you would like, again, it depends on what you're trying to do. If you would like to escape or propose a truth.
Oh, I have a truth to propose.
Okay. Tell me what you
We'll
propose
s-
is the truth of this room, and tell me what token you take.
We will start with the reason this room was locked. Sure, we had a key. Obviously, this was a place that some girl, dumber than us, but not by much apparently, came and started messing with things that were far above her head, things that should not be dealt with by one of our sex. And she was punished. The reason the rest of her body isn't here is I'm sure that Bluebeard came and removed it, but with such a dangerous creature, probably from one of his exotic trips, he didn't want to endanger anyone else. It's safer to just lock the room and forget it. So I'm taking a token of loyalty, of faithfulness. I will grab one of the dark feathers from the ground and stick it in my hair. Leave this rookery.
And as you propose the truth and take the feather, you can leave this room and you feel the door close back behind you as you are now back in the hallway. Natal, describe to me the key of the next room.
The key is made of gold, rose gold, very intricate designs on the head, almost like a 4-leaf clover. The rose gold reminds her of pink almost. There's something very light about it, and when it hits the other keys, it tinkles pleasantly.
Okay. All right. So as you pull out this key, um, and you start to open up the room that it belongs to, you find yourself, as the door closes behind you, a music room. It's large, circular, domed ceiling filled with finely made instruments. That same pinkish gold of that key is along every single bit of these instruments as well to match their dark wood of these harps and flutes and other suitable instruments for a lady. Being that also uh, almost any instrument that you can imagine can be found here, just lying out, including a interesting box like one. Again, made in that same rose gold and carved with intricate designs. But it stands out in the fact that it has a series of knobs and perhaps a long antenna protruding from one end. Um, as well, there's a circle of high back chairs, each with a singular sapphire blue candle placed on the seat. And this surrounds that metal box instrument. You're not sure. Um, and a fresco depicting a parade of musicians adorn the wall, lit by these candles, painted in warm, vibrant colors, so different from the previous room you had been in.
This is the kind of room a lady belongs in. The Fatal bends down. She's been cradling her finger, her former finger, and she rips up her dress, not the top, but the petticoat underneath, because don't want to ruin anything pretty, and wraps it around her bleeding stump. And makes her way over to this odd box that she would like to investigate.
Okay. You may, as you take a closer look at it, as you, kind of start looking, almost as you get closer to it, it seems to emit a soft sound. But you may ask me some questions.
Whose item is this?
This item belonged to likely another bride or a high-ranking entertainer within the court, but certainly an instrument. Well, and you see it's been well taken care of. The metal still has its bright shine as it had just been polished. And again, as you now that you experiment a bit, you place your hand closer to it, that kind of soft, almost wailing sound seems to get a bit higher as if it approaches the antenna, and then you bring it back.
Is it a theremin?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool. Fatal is very excited. This is not the kind of instrument you would ever see in a farmhouse.
What is it
start
again?
a
A theremin.
Okay. I thought that's what I heard you say. I was making sure.
Yeah. She kind of continues moving her arm and hand over it. What memories does this item hold?
Ooh, okay. So as you look around this room, and clearly that this thing is at the center of it, the center of the circle of chairs within the circle of a room. And even as you note, there are music notes that seem to kind of be on the marble of this place. Um, this clearly was the centerpiece of a performance. Someone playing it for others or for some other reason. You can imagine yourself or whoever this belonged to sitting here playing, just feeling that rise and fall of music notes, feeling as if you are part of something larger, different.
You've always been talented with music, sister.
I'm so happy we're here.
This is
Do you continue playing it?
Mm-hmm.
this is the place for the most refined of women. And I want to take stock. I don't like it here.
Okay.
I don't like
Yes. You can certainly take stock.
it. What horror is hidden from the bride?
As you watch your sister, the Fatal, play the theremin, her eyes are kind of closed as she feels that music and imagines what it's like to have been this person. Look at around the room and you see that very colorful fresco again of this parade of musicians and entertainers that uh, are playing all many of the same instruments that are within this room. And as you look around, you see this kind of repeating person within them, a woman with long, flaming red hair, um, and dressed in a nightgown. And while perhaps each figure is in a different pose, this bride is the same in each one, where her gown is open and her guts are strung up around her throat, like the neck of a cello. And as you follow this and notice in every scene the same woman, you look to the theremin, and as the Fatale's hands get close to the theremin to bring it to its highest, loudest pitch, you see the box starting to bleed.
Sister, do you not see this?
The Fatal opens her eyes. Is this you?
This isn't my magic. I'll I can try to figure out what's wrong. I think without thinking, she pulls a needle out of her hair that holds her hair up and pricks one of her fingers. And I'd like to commune with the horror of this room.
Okay. So as you commune with a horror, mark one trauma. How much trauma are you at out of 5?
Katie knows what she's about.
I was going hard this game.
All right. I will share whisperings about what happened here. So as your drop of blood joins this pool that is now forming at your feet, you look at the hand that's now right by that theremin, the antenna, and you see that it's starting to almost contort itself into the shape of a disfigured woman's body. And you it's almost at the point where you're almost touching, right, this now mutilated body that has that same, the guts being pulled out and strung up around the neck, and that pitch takes on much more of a wailing, like a woman in extreme pain.
Don't you feel her distress and her pain?
I'm not sure what I'm seeing, let alone feeling.
That you feel sickness from the witch as she's watching this.
And I got to ask you one question from your move.
Mm-hmm.
Why did Bluebeard keep this item?
He kept this item, this tableau with this woman painted in it because she had the most vibrant red hair he had ever seen, and he wanted to cherish it forever and keep it forever. And what better way to do that than to paint it in a room that he can sit in and play beautiful music to this woman that he misses.
I think the Virgin takes pity on this scene, and she would like to care for this horror to try to ease their suffering. It seems like they've been through a lot.
Yeah, and all of you, that again, what might have been the theremin at some point, but now just this screeching wail coming from this thing that still holds a tint of musicality. So you may roll the I believe if I did looking at the Virgin thing. Right. Okay. How do you care for it?
I want to put my hands on it and try to get the noise to stop if I can, even if it gets me sort of bloody and disgusting.
Okay. I need you to roll me the care for somebody, which is just care for somebody. Okay, never mind. I was like, brain.
No bonus.
No bonus. You just have to do it. So how do you try to quiet it? Are you just trying to comfort it?
I'm trying to just feel like if it's a musical instrument, there must be vibration somewhere.
Mhm.
I want to sort of just touch. If it's also a disfigured woman. I'm going to try to touch her face if I can.
Yeah. So now that it's fully transformed, you see this woman that again had been painted into these frescoes.
Mm.
And her flaming red hair is kind of splayed out alongside in the blood. And as you kind of trace your hands across her face and just try to comfort her, and she kind of leans in a bit to your touch. She has her eyes are still open, and you see they don't see anything. Her mouth is still open as if in that silent scream, but she is no longer screaming.
Thank you, sister. That sound was the most horrible thing I had ever heard.
Just wanted to put it out of its misery, but it seems you handled it.
You did very well, sister.
You did.
I'm sure it was worse for her.
The Fatal is very confused at this point. So I think she'll move away now and go look at these sapphire blue candles on the chairs.
Okay. Yeah, so you examine them, and
Mhm.
each of these candles in its wax is a very bright blue. They sit in a silver dish to catch the melted wax, and it holds this pool of blue now as this flame continues to burn.
If the Fatal allows it, I think the witch tries to. You know when people run their hands through the flame to just
Mhm.
feel the warmth and get that little bite of fire. I think the witch does that as we pass by candles.
Okay.
The Fatal will allow it. She almost thinks they should cauterize their wound, but she doesn't know if the candle's hot enough. I'm going to investigate
Okay.
one of the candles. What about this item is odd or uncanny?
So as you watch um, the witch kind of pass, the fingers through the flame doesn't flicker. And the flame itself is of a blue color. It burns bright and strong, barely disturbed by the finger passing through.
And what memories does this item hold?
So this kind of also goes into the uncanny. As you now take a step back to kind of examine the rest of the candles in tandem, this candle was placed here with purpose and care. It was not just as if somebody has set it down to do something else. The setup of the chairs and the candles upon each one, those are all perfectly placed the same in each chair. And as they go into that circle, this is the residual of a ritual of some form.
I think there's something about all this magic that's making the Fatal really uneasy. She has a distaste for what her sister, the witch, does anyway, and this seems like related to it somehow. So I'm going to take stock.
Okay. As you take stock, you may ask me.
What stalks the bride from the shadows?
As you finish kind of looking around this semicircle and you look back up in the around the circle of the floor where those music notes are, they glow now with a eerie blue light. And yet upon each of them is shadows in the shape of figures, almost in the same shape as the figures in the frescoes. You can maybe make out them within the ethereal darkness of their form as if they are holding instruments. And they now encircle you as you are within this middle of the candles of the box.
As the shadows descend, I think the Fatal starts humming a song that she knows, not quite a country jig, but something more refined she taught herself, but a, a dancing song of some kind. And as the shadows get closer, she moves as if she's dancing among them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you hum the song, you start to dance along a song and a dance that all of you know after years of annual village parties, the harvest uh, rites. And as you start to hum and dance as if upon them, you hear kind of that the sound of instruments joining and striking a chord to match with the song. Um, and they're even getting the way that the old farmer would mess up that one note every single year on his guitar. They even have that. And as you start to hum and dance in the center of this room, in the center of these candles, of these figures, feel this kind of surge of power flow through all of you.
I don't like this power, sister. This isn't. I'm not familiar with this. It scares me.
This scares you. Not a raven with human teeth, but this dancing. Maybe it's just a trick of the light.
Of
I never-
figures. Sorry, go ahead.
I never thought I'd hear this song again. I love it. I feel good.
A shadowy figure steps out that looks a little like, if you squint at it just the right way, like the Milk Boy. And he holds out his hand
Hello.
as if to do the couples dance with you.
I take it.
And so as you feel it, and even though you can see through this figure, the shadows, it feels corporeal in your hands as you take the hands and start to spin around the room, the song picking up even more and more. And you feel again that kind of surge of energy, of power, of darkness as you spin and spin. And you don't feel like stopping. And I think with that, we're going to take a short break.
Oh man. Okay, friends, we'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes. Stay tuned for more horrific things that Kiana has planned for us. we're back from our little break. We're glad you're with us. We'll turn it back over to Kiana.
Thank you. And last we left our bride, she was in the center of a music room, being serenaded by shadowy figures playing a village song that she knows and dancing with a shadow version of the boy that she left behind in her home. And she spins as this music rises, and that kind of surgence of energy and power also rises within, and an urge to not stop.
Well, I would like to use my face move as the Animus. We got our dance on with the Milk Boy. I would like to order him. I'm going to say, give us the best dance of our life. Sweep me off my feet.
Okay. So as you command this,
And I would like him to carry it out to the letter and then some.
ooh, okay.
Mark that point of trauma.
Yeah, you're gonna mark that trauma.
Yep.
Carry it out to the letter, and then some. So as this dance continues and the music crescendos, the shadow, the shade, the milk boy takes you in his arms. And again, although that feeling of, you think that he's just passed through you, but it's solid and corporeal. And the spinning continues, and he does sweep you off your feet. Um, and as you feel your legs lift up, as you're now, all your body weight is within this, within the arms of this shade. You feel light, you feel giddy. This is a lightness that you haven't felt since you entered into this home with its burdens of being a wife to one of the most powerful lords in the land. And as you get swept up, you feel yourself as if being lifted upwards, raised hands, lifting you higher and higher. And it almost feels as if your entire spirit is lifting, almost as if it's lifting away from your body. As you feel yourself and look at yourself and see your own body start to turn translucent. Because if you're to have, this will be the dance of your life, but perhaps not the dance of your unlife.
Shiver from fear. I don't like it.
Tell me, what is your worst fear of this moment?
Being separated from my body, which I love, which gives me power. Being trapped as this see-through thing that almost no one would ever notice.
And how is it worse than that? You know that as the lady of the house, you and your husband are the only ones with the key to every place. Not only will you not be seen, you may just as well be forgotten and locked away. To be nothing but to dance out this dance forever and ever and ever. You may pass the ring and choose one, or hold on to the ring and choose two.
Let's see. um, I'm going to, because I want to do one thing. I'm going to hold on to the ring for the moment, and it's going to speak to me. And of course, it has the bride in its clutches right now. I will take a trauma.
Take a trauma, and all of you can feel that the hands are very firmly upon the bride's arms and shoulders, keeping her there. You're still in control, but anyone else can chime in with thoughts or maiden moves.
This is what happens when you play with power you don't understand how to control.
Hypocrite.
I know how to use my power.
We're still in control. We can be in control. Just hold on.
Prove it.
Fine. The Fatal is going to, knowing this is the milk boy, she's going to move her arms from where they are and gently guide them to around her waist, so it's more like cradling her lower back. And she's going to run her hands along the side of the shadowy figure where its face would be, and I'm going to try to caress a horror.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Yes.
So, with a success, a mixed success, but a success nonetheless. All right. So as you caress the horror, it will shift the attention away from you, but only to participate in some way. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
So as you move this shade's hands, this milk boy's hands, to more cradle you, and you, as if almost to caress its face, but also to guide its face towards the door, you see a young servant girl walk in the door.
My favorite.
With a broom. And you know that, they just want someone to dance with them. But you'll have to start the dance first. Teach her the steps. And let her become part of them.
I will. I hold out my hand to her. Put your broom down, dear. Come with me for a moment. I need a partner.
She looks at you. I don't know if I should be dancing.
It wasn't a request.
Servant girl, please move. Come dance with me now. And I think this one should be she should carry it out overwhelmingly, but a bit sloppy.
Okay. So as you command her, mark a trauma, she drops all of her cleaning stuff. Doesn't even set it down carefully in her hurry to get over to you.
You're a messy little thing, aren't you?
I've been told I'm a little clumsy. I'm trying to work on that.
We'll work on it right now.
Oh, okay. I don't know the steps, but I can try.
Are you sure you want to taint someone else's innocence?
It's dancing.
Uh, the Fatal begins teaching her the steps.
Yeah, and she does it with enthusiasm. A little clumsy. Um, she swings her arm just a little too much, kicks her leg out just a little too far. But she starts getting it.
And as she's probably lost in thought, trying to count and trying to be respectful toward us, with one spin, I thrust her into the arms of the shadow.
And the milk boy will, or the shade will take her and start spinning her the same way that he spun you. And you watch as from tip of the fingers and toes down towards the center, you see it start to become ethereal, see-through, black as she starts to fade into nothing more but a shadow and a dance created by candles and light.
Why would you make her come to such a fate?
Better her than us?
That's true.
Thank you.
She was innocent. Power, magic shouldn't
We are
hurt
innocent.
innocence. Are we? Or are we complicit now?
We
You
think on that.
you
What does the
feel
Virgin?
Oh, sorry, go
Yeah.
ahead.
What does the Virgin think about this? I'm curious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I am too. I think the Virgin thinks that if she is a servant here, she must know what's going on. And this sort of fate is probably going to befall her anyway. So at least it was something painless like this.
Mm.
I'm ashamed of all of you.
I think you're just worried about losing your control over us. You seem weaker.
It's because I've been trying to protect you.
Sure.
You
Well.
you feel this anger go through her. And I think she grabs the hand where her pinky was cut off and squeezes it very hard so her blood is spilled again. And I'm going to shatter because I'm taking my last trauma. But before I do, I want to commune with the horrors of this room.
We did it, fam.
Okay, so as you commune with the horrors, this, you know magic. You practice it, you studied it, you feel it. This is a ritual gone so very wrong. That energy now, you, even though you have stopped dancing, you can still feel it spark through you. And there's a slight temptation. Power is everything after all. But, and I will ask you one question. Why did Bluebeard keep this item?
He kept this item as a way to tempt whatever bride might wander in here to prove her loyalty.
Now, that last thought passes your mind, all of you feel something break. And which, if you can read the passage,
We are no longer whole. Our connection is severed. Our mind is fragmented. Our deepest fears are exposed. Our blood feeds the horrors, and I welcome them.
and the witch is shattered and is no more. And as shatters, she will help me, the groundskeeper, to help during the rest of our tale today.
The Fatah feels power and a little bit of vindication, but under it is fear that the witch isn't there anymore. And feeling that and seeing how well her sisters did in this room, she will pass the ring back to the Virgin.
All right. We're still in the room.
You're still in the room. If you would like to leave, he may escape, upon which I give you a hard bargain or a tough deal to just leave. Or you can propose a truth. You can propose what you think happened in this room to lead to this. And therefore also say whether this was Bluebeard's fault or not.
I think I will propose the truth.
Okay.
I think that the objects in here are here because they created a situation which deserved punishment, where the woman on the walls did not practice restraint, and she did not know her place. And she tried to do what she wished and do what she wanted and lost control of it. And I think that I would like to take a token of disloyalty and think that Bluebeard placed this here to make sure no one ever did it again.
I love it. And what token do you take with you? What item or piece do you take to prove
Like
this?
an actual object?
An actual object.
Can I take the theremin? Is it still there? I want a theremin. If I don't have that, then I want a bow.
It had transformed into the woman. So you can take a bow with you.
I'll take a bow of a cello bow.
And as you take that token of disloyalty, you leave the room, and the door closes behind you, and you are back in the hallway. And Virgin, describe to me the key of the next room.
The next room's key, it looks like it's almost made of like a milky white crystal or like an opal, but it's impossibly like crazed and cracked. And it has, on the end of it, it has almost like a signet. You see that sometimes with really old keys where it can make an impression in something to let you know whose key it is and who it belongs to. Um, and the actual mechanism of it looks almost like it's broken. It's roughly hewn, but if you look at it, it's meant to be that way. It's not actually broken. It just looks rough.
Okay. Heavy metal. Smith. Okay. I think I have this. So as you walk to the next room and find the door that this key unlocks, you put it in and it opens. And as you step back in, it closes behind you. And you are within a an armory. You see around you sets of armor upon mannequins that are posed in different dynamic forms. Like these are not just, the torso just hanging limp, as if somebody had posed them to look as if they were in the midst of combat. Along the walls are several polearms and axes and swords, all finely made, each well crafted, and each with a bit of blue upon their helm, whether their hilt, whether that is a stamp or a strip of dyed leather or cloth. And within a case, there is a singular dagger, jeweled, and laying upon a pillow of blue velvet.
I want to investigate the dagger.
Okay. So you may ask me 2 questions.
The first question I'll ask is, what memories does this item hold?
As you look at it, again, this piece is finely crafted the same way that everything else in here is. And it is, you see that the way that's bladed, it's not meant for perhaps the hunting knife that your father used, nor is it any of the same kind of thing as the weapons as the rest of this room. This is a much more, you see it being used in more ceremonies, in as a show of power, perhaps less so of utility.
Curious whose item this is.
Whose item this is? Of course, almost everything that is in this home is Bluebeard's, that it is his home, and in some respect is now yours too. However, this item belonged to somebody before you. Looking at the way how quite small it is, this is not made for a large man's hand. Well, for a woman, the size and length more suited for a delicate lady rather than a noble warrior. And of course, you can't imagine any servant or lesser woman having this. This would be someone of your new status.
Well, if that's the case, I don't think I've ever seen something like this that's just so beautiful, and I'm going to shake a little bit, but I'm going to pick it up. If this is the thing I'm supposed to be now, then this is what I will take. Is it under glass, you said?
It is under a glass case.
All right. I will try to lift the glass.
Nice looking knife.
It's a little heavy, a little clunky, but you're able to lift it up.
Be
Enough
careful, our hands twitch.
True.
Yeah. And there's a moment where you're like, oh God, you're going to drop this, but you manage to kind of lift up just enough to sneak your hand in and take the jeweled hilt.
Okay. I'm going to take it. I'm going to draw it along my hand to try to feel how sharp it is.
It's quite hefty, you realize. The gems and the metal having quite a bit of weight. And as you draw along your hand, it's not really sharp. And as you look, see that it's been purposely smoothed out.
All right. What about this item is odd and uncanny, aside from the fact that it's a dull dagger? That's odd. Why would it be dull?
As you kind of look at it, and again, the bright sheen of its metal and its gems glitter, even in this faint candlelight that lights this room. And you turn, and as you catch your own reflection in its blade, you see yourself, but drenched in blood.
Oh. Why did he keep this item?
As you hold on to it, you can tell that this is finely crafted, finely made. But the make of it is not recent. This is something that had been passed down from generation to generation to generation. And as any good lord should, keeps good care of the family heirlooms.
Interesting.
It's a gift. It's pretty.
It's very pretty. Awful weapon, though. I mean, look, it's not even sharp. What, you gonna blunt stab someone to death with this?
Ladies shouldn't play with sharp objects besides their needles.
What if there was a home invader?
Then I'm sure we could find a man to take care of it for us.
Maybe.
It could work as a blunt object.
It could work as a blunt object.
You're a bad influence, Animus.
I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, look at this thing. It's just, he's so blunt. You can't even, it's not even cutting fabric.
Maybe it's for, I used to have a knife like this and it was for oysters. Maybe it's
that's a very fancy oyster knife.
We have fancy oysters here.
We have fancy everything.
We are very fancy now. I forget sometimes.
I want to take stock of the room.
Good idea.
Fancy oyster knife.
What does this place demand of the bride?
Ooh. Hey, that's a good question. As you glance around the room, although this blade had been sanded down. I'm sorry. This was. I'm glad I made this room now. The this wasn't always like this. This used to be a blade, and you imagine that the ritual that used to belong to was of a more blood type.
Oh.
And as you look, you see all the sets of armor that now you realize are kind of set in each corner of the room in their poses. And they all shift their blades towards you.
Oh.
This room demands blood.
The
They want to fight? They want to pick a fight with me?
animus,
Bring it.
please.
Bring it.
Please.
Punch some more. There's an axe over there. That's really nice. You know, we just.
They're made of metal.
Well, we've got a great oyster shucker here, or we could get an axe and just use, you know, some real blunt force. Hold on.
I'd like to investigate one of the suits of armor before I have to do something to
Sorry,
animus.
just Lindy's going
Yeah.
around her room looking for weapons. It's dying.
Ready? Ready.
Starting to miss the witch.
I would
actually-
never, because I have none.
This is all I have. I have a big crystal I could hit somebody with. I don't- Yes, I want to investigate a suit of armor.
Okay.
I'll investigate a suit of armor, all right.
Don't make me take it from you.
I don't have it. I'm waiting my turn very impatiently.
All right.
I did grab an axe.
You did grab an axe. All right. Ask me 2 questions about the armor.
Oh, right. Excuse me. What is she getting now? Please, Lindy. Okay. What memories does this item hold?
Of the armor?
Yes.
Even though they are finely polished and well crafted, there's only so much polish can do to hide the marks of war and battle. You can see scars and scuffs that scratch across the metal, quite deep, in fact, as if whatever battle this set of armor had been involved in was quite fierce.
And
Another thing I should mention
mm,
that just came to my head. As you look at this particular set of armor, it's not as large as the other ones. Smaller, more slender. Feels like it could fit you just right.
whose item is this?
This belonged to a knight, a warrior. But not just any. As you look, this would have belonged to a lady knight.
I think the Virgin would sense that her gifts are not as well suited in this room as another sister's, and she is going to give up the ring to the tactical animus.
Well, I have an axe.
Yeah, did you just reach over and grab the axe off
Oh
the wall?
yeah. Oh yeah.
It is heavy in your hands.
Yeah. Well, thankfully I'm strong. I almost became a lumberjack, but that wasn't my profession. So, all right. Let me look at these these knights.
Please don't do anything foolish.
All right. So they're wearing plate armor.
Yes.
Okay. Well, then I'm gonna this axe. I'm like, you know what? Take two sharp daggers. I don't trust this blunt stuff, and I would like to dirty myself with violence and just go for the weak points. The joint right here, in particular, on the armor, that was a good one for stabbing people. Also, depending on if it's a segmented breastplate or not, one right up underneath here, or going downwards the neck.
What are you doing?
Okay, dirty yourself with violence.
All right. Cool. And that's my thing. So
Just to remind you, Lindy, you do have a reroll.
Oh, I do have a reroll.
Because
I'ma
Pope
use that.
Deadpool gave some bits.
Yeah. That's much better. As that is a mixed success with a 7 to 9.
Yeah.
First, choose whether you are going to disable, silence, or mutilate this.
Oh, let's disable this.
Okay.
That sounds good.
So while you do that, you also must choose whether this either opens you up for trauma or your carelessness leaves you in a bad spot.
Oh, definitely trauma.
Okay.
Let's go with the trauma. Trauma for 200, Kiana.
So as you take out these daggers, and with precision that no lady should ever know,
Oh, like stupid cross stitch.
you sink your daggers into this plate mail, and you do manage to start to dismantle it. But as it does, your hand shakes a bit on getting them in, and you realize they're stuck.
Uh-oh.
And as you take that moment to be like, oh no, they're stuck, this set of armor with its sword will slash into you.
Okay.
Animus will take 2 points of trauma.
Trauma.
The other 2 of you will take 1 as your body has been just slashed open.
Except because I gave up the ring, it says I'm immune to
Yep.
trauma.
You are immune, so
Oh,
you
So
are
nice
fine.
for you, virgin.
The animus shatters upon realizing.
And as the tactical one, the violence,
I got one from dirtying myself with violence. So, yeah.
with the violence that overtakes you, all of you can feel the animus's shock, and then the fragmentation of that part of her soul. Animus and witch, or rather, what used to be animus and what used to be witch. Please read the passage.
We are no longer whole. Our connection is severed. Our mind is fragmented. Our deepest fears are exposed. Our blood feeds the horrors. And I welcome
them.
2 sisters have shattered, and 2 remain.
Who gets the ring?
That is a very good
That's
question.
an excellent question.
Do both of you want it?
I want it.
I want it.
Okay. How about both of you roll resilience for me.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I put my 0 in that.
I have a bonus.
Ooh. 6.
7.
Both of you feel the fragmentation, that missing part of the soul resonate throughout you. Version, you are the one that's able to shake yourself out of it first and take control with the rings.
All right. Feeling the parts of myself that have power to do things I can't, that I trust more than the Fatale. Seeing where we are and what I can do, I am going to use my face move. I'm going to be the victim. And I'm going to attempt to ask these things. I'm going to caress a horror. I'm going to ask these things what I can do of it that will save me.
Okay, so when you do so you invite it closer.
Mhm.
And with that, you may mark one trauma to take a 10 plus instead of rolling to caress it.
Mhm.
Would you like to do that?
I would like to do that.
You mark one trauma. And how are you doing trauma-wise? How are our 2 remaining sisters?
That was my first one.
Okay. And Patel?
3 of 5. And waiting.
So as you caress this horror, as you invite this piece of armor closer to you, as the sword pulls away from the bride's stomach, you can feel the bleeding, and it comes closer. And you may redirect it elsewhere to fight perhaps when the other suits of armor is coming towards you.
Yes, that's what I will do. I will kind of just sort of push it in that direction. I'm trying not to look at it as much as I can because I'm not comfortable with this at all. But yes, I will do that while I attempt to get towards the door.
Yeah, so it will just, as you push it, it will turn its visored head towards the other 3 and will set up its sword once more to engage as you run towards the door. Would you like to escape or propose a truth? If you propose a truth, it is a 2-track game and it'll decide the fate of the bride.
I think I want to escape.
Okay. Hard bargain or ugly? Actually, I'm going to leave this over to my 2 shattered ones. What is the hard bargain? What choice that the virgin will have to make to leave?
I think Katie's muted.
No, I'm just trying to
okay. I
decide.
saw your mouth moving. and I
No,
was like,
that was me. That was my thinking
Okay.
face.
Hard bargain.
What if you of course manage to escape, but it's just in the nick of time for this axe or sword or whatever to slice your arm. So you're escaping, but you're going to be injured and probably going a lot slower through the house. Dealing
And
with this
likely
pain.
taking another trauma.
That too. Unless Lindy has something else.
No, I think that you can't escape without taking a trauma here, because you just had a sister shatter in the last room. You had a sister shatter in this room.
Mhm.
It's like who's next? Is it going to be Virgin? Is it going to be the Fatal? Like, you know you can escape, but at what cost? Yeah, you take some physical injury, but what's the injury that you've taken to your soul and your psyche?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's your hard bargain. Would you like to take it and escape?
I think I've got no choice. I can't.
You could
can't-
totally stay.
I know. I'm gonna go. Take my arm. Take my arm. I want to bleed like a chainsaw movie.
I mean, you did see it in the dagger.
Yep.
It's true.
You mark 1 trauma, Virgin.
All right.
And now you are back out into the hallway, bleeding, not whole, but still alive. And Virgin, you still have the keys and the ring, so you can describe to me the key to the next room.
Let's see. I think when you got a big open wound and you're bleeding profusely, the worst thing you want to see is a rusty cast iron key that looks like it's intertwined with thorns. It's sharp. And it almost starts to disintegrate on your hands.
Real rusty.
Really, really rusty. Really,
Just contact tetanus.
yeah, really full.
I'm so mad at all of you.
This has been Lauren's own personal version of hell.
Okay. Oh, I know. You find the door that this key opens, and you open it. And you step inside and hear the door close behind you. You are within what used to be a greenhouse, but it has fallen into ruin, where carefully cultivated flowers of brilliant blue may have existed. They now grow into wild bushes that seep outwards. And they are more thorn than flowers at this point. You see further back there is a forest, but the trees are decaying, dying. And the skylights above you that shine just a little bit of light are cracked and dirtied. The metal rusted. Sorry.
Someone's allergic to pollen, I think.
But there, what used to be pathways through this garden and to the forest has now been overgrown by thorns and leaves.
Perhaps we should tread carefully. Don't know how many more cuts we can sustain.
There must be some place in here that's safe. Where does he live?
Well, we could have looked for a bedchamber, but you chose this key.
It was right there. I only have one hand I can use. It's hard to turn them. It's right there. I'm going to rip up the rest of my petticoat and make a tourniquet. if I can, take out one of my hairpins and twist it. And I'll just like keep it right there.
Yeah, you're able to do that.
Good.
Your very nice dress is so covered in blood.
What was the matter with us? We are so ungrateful.
This is what you want to live in? Is this what you wanted?
We're the ones going around wrecking the house. And it shows. Our shame shows.
There were a lot of things we could have been, and this is the one that we chose. You liked him, you kissed him.
It was a good kiss.
I think the bride's gonna cry out for help. She's gonna try to find somebody. She's feeling bad. Maybe
Sure.
there's someone here.
Okay. Cry out for help. That will be a plus resilience.
Yeah. 7.
Well, just. All right. So with that, okay. That's house servant.
Going for trauma, by the way. If there's a choice.
No, there is no choice here quite yet. From behind one of these bushes that you now see a dilapidated shed, perhaps. You see a figure step out. And you see, dressed in this kind of rough gardener's clothes. It's not a male gardener that you expect. This is a woman. Long, dark black hair in waves that flows free. And freckles across her face. And these very light gray eyes that are almost like pools that you could drown in. The first bride has arrived.
Well, you wanted help. You're in charge.
You want it? You want to be in charge of the situation? Do you think you can handle this?
I think you're doing a fine job, sister.
It looks like she doesn't want to kiss you.
Not yet.
I'm going to go towards her and just call out, please help me. Help me. I'm so glad I found you. Oh, and she's totally relaxed. She's like, finally, like, my nightmare's over.
As you kind of collapse into this person's arm, and she kind of steadies you. You can see that along her freckles also like dirt smears. Not that she had been working, or had even like smeared it upon herself. And she has a large set of clippers on her waist. And she kind of holds you for a second to steady the sudden weight. And looks at your blood, the blood on your clothes. What happened to you?
She will she'll burst into tears and she'll say there was a bird and it had teeth and this happened and that happened, and she's gonna barely be able to talk. She's gonna take out the bow and she's going to say, I think he did this. I think he's doing things. We just got married. I think he's doing things. What do I do? I don't know what to do. Where are we? How do we leave? I need to leave. Can you help me leave? Are you a servant? Can I tell you what to do?
Oh, this hurts. She looked at you, and there's kind of she sees you, but there's kind of a blankness to it, as if she's detached from everything that's kind of happening. Were you exploring?
He told us we could go where we wanted, except for the one room. So he told me I could do that.
And you should listen.
See?
I don't know if I should trust her. There's been no one to trust.
Me or her?
Well, I know I can't trust you.
I'm the only one left you can trust. I'm going to keep us alive.
If you believe that so strongly, I'll give you the ring.
I don't want the ring.
I don't either.
Come on. You're so grown up now. Talk to her. You asked for her help. What do you want her to do?
I want her to show me the way out. Where is it? Do you know where it is? Is it through there?
Are you asking out of the room? Or somewhere else?
Out of the house. I want to go back home.
But you're the lady of the house now.
I thought that's what I wanted, but I don't think I want that anymore. I don't have to be, do I? Do I?
When did you think you had a choice?
Don't we? Don't we all? I mean, I haven't been here very long. There are plenty of times in your life you do something and you think you want to, and then you decide that you don't, and then you don't.
Flitty, flighty woman.
You have to know when you're ready for things. To understand.
I'm ready.
Ready for what?
Married life.
That's not. With a raven with teeth?
Are you scared for when he's going to come home and what will be demanded of us then?
No. I'm scared of the ghosts and the armor and the fact that he keeps it here and told us to look.
Probably for our own benefit.
I don't think that's true. Our father never hit us and told us it was our fault. He may not have respected us, but he didn't do that.
Father never hit you.
going to ask this woman, do you know the way out of here or not?
I only saw the final door. But my choice was already made then.
I'm going to take stock. I don't buy whoever this is.
Okay, yeah.
Her hands are trembling. She's probably lying. Take stock. What traps have been laid for the bride?
As you've been having this conversation, as you look, kind of the corner of your eyes, you see movement. And you're seeing these thorny vines start to kind of curl as if to embrace you.
See? She's a lure. She's punishment if we believe her.
If we believe her that there's a way out?
I think trying to find a way out is punishable.
I am not going to let this man decide for me what I do or what I do not do. I think I want to propose a truth.
I take the ring.
Oh.
And I mark a trauma.
Oh.
4 of 5.
Okay.
That I'm proposing a truth about the room.
Okay.
Spicy.
Okay. Tell me, what is the truth you're proposing and what token do you take?
The truth about this room and about all the rooms is they were tests. Tests of our loyalty. And if we had continued to ask about a way out, we would have been punished, and rightly so. But we are not foolish. Our husband loves us. And these were here to teach us in a way that women should be taught. And I'm going to take a fallen thorn from the ground and keep that with me and take a token of faithfulness.
And as you take that token of faithfulness, and as you step out of the room, it is not long before you find yourself in front of the simplest door. Just plain wood. And you know the key that matches it is simple and plain and forbidden. You have traveled these dark halls in search of a truth most divisive. Each room provided you with all the evidence you desired to make that one fateful choice. And now that you stand before the forbidden final room, you must decide. Sisters, all of you, would you like to enter the room or look through the keyhole?
Enter.
You've come this far. You've lost parts of yourself. Take it all the way. That's what you do best, Fatal.
What do you want, Virgin?
May it be your only act of defiance. Go in the room.
Because having all three sisters. Being pushed like that by them, and mostly out of a need to prove them wrong, and because of her belief in her husband, surely what happened to others might
We'll know once and
not.
for all once we open the door and go into the room.
If you want to prove to us that he's a faithful, loyal, kind man, then do it. Prove it.
We open the door.
And as you open the door, there's that smell of that sweet oil, that same ritual oil that you used on that one gift. And you see that little bit of needlework placed in the hands of 1, 2, 5, 10, countless other brides, their corpses laid out for you to find. And as the bride goes unconscious, you must go around and see what happens next. So all of you, what were the bride's last loving words to Bluebeard before he killed her?
I'm not like them.
I believed you.
Oh, this? I just fell down the stairs.
This could have been so beautiful.
What room does the bride's soul reside in?
I think the music room.
I think so too.
That was the one she related to the most. Always, forever playing the theremin.
Dancing with that milk boy.
What about the way Bluebeard displays the bride's dead body that makes her happy?
He stitches up all the wounds so that they're not gaping. The thread is colored blue, of course, though. So there's all these blue lines from where we've been injured and cut before.
Could she keep the feather in her hair?
And lets her hair fall, unlike her mother who made her pull it back.
And he lets her mouth hang slightly ajar as if she's about to say something.
And how does the bride disguise the horror done to her body?
Always walks around with the dagger on her belt, and embroidery in hand.
She rests. She holds herself. She crosses her arms where she was cut on the shoulder and tucks the hand that has the severed finger underneath the other arm.
Any other ways?
She's always kind of dancing and swaying, so she always just tries to position herself in some way that she's not showing.
And finally, how does the bride punish future brides for the transgressions against Bluebeard?
I think that she sews their mouth shut so they have to experience the silence that she experienced her whole life. When
Blue
she's
thread.
around, only she should be able to talk.
And I think she kisses them.
And I think if they say something particularly insulting about him, she slaps them across the face.
And with that, as our bride transforms into one of the horrors that now haunt the halls, awaiting for a new bride to arrive, this tale closes, and Volume 3 of Bluebeard's Bride comes to an end.
Oh my god. Holy shitballs. That was wild.
This is the first actual horror that has been created out of these games, so congrats!
Hey, Volume 4 and 5. Good luck. Have fun. Oh, seeing Volume 1 Bride is... Whoa.
She was so sweet.
She was the only truly sweet one that we have played.
She's so nice.
Oh.
She just wanted to warn you guys. Oh, she wanted.
Oh no. Yeah, we can go around, say who you are, where I can find you, your plugs and all that good stuff. Lauren, if you want to go first.
Sure. I'm sorry. Ooh. Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm really a very nice person. I'm That Salty Ginger over on Twitter. I play games around the internet with my friends. With my friends? Friends? Emma's not answering. Friends?
Sorry. Something flashed up. Sorry, yes, definitely friends.
You can find me. I play on Scratica's Academy. I play on Off the Table. I'm gonna be all around, and we just kind of rebranded over on Grimjack 21502. We are now Tales from the Grim. So change your bookmark, change whatever, because that's where Project Athena is. Vault Cthulhu campaign. We have 3 episodes left of the entire story. This is fine. This is a fine face. I'm fine. You look good. You look fine. So usually we're Sundays at 7 Eastern. Twitch.tv/Tales from the Grim. Spread the word.
Emma?
Oh man, that was so intense. That was so intense. I don't know if I've played a game that's that intense, where it's sort of like, I don't know if what I'm going to do is going to have an effect, but if it will, and it's going to be bad. But yeah, fuck. That was my first curse on the stream, by the way, because I was the virgin, but I'm not anymore. I am Susie King 85 over on Twitter. I'm also the communications director for WebDM, so you can talk to us/me over on WebDM show or over on WebDM on Facebook, if anybody still does Facebook anymore, other than me, because I have to. Yeah, I love this game. Thank you so much. Oh man, I'm speechless. Thank you.
It's wild. Lindy?
Oh my goodness, so much fun. I was going for a full shatter, but I'll take just half shatter, full monstrosity. I liked it. Liked it. Very different outcome from our last bride. So much fun. The more I play this game, I love how many different outcomes can happen and just how each person and each role responds differently to everything. Just wow, just really cool. I can't wait for more, hopefully, eventually. You can find me online at LaughLoveLindy on Twitches and the Twitters. I have a very busy week coming up. This weekend is pretty much just all prep, as I am going to be DMing 3 games a week now instead of just 1 or 2. I'm going to be DMing a Call of Cthulhu game on Tuesdays on Encounter Roleplay, and then an hour later till Mists of Ravenloft on my channel. And every Thursday night after wonderful web DMs channels. About half an hour after that, I will be DMing basically Space Pirates Dark Matter on Scraticus's channel. And then, of course, playing in about 10 other campaigns. So just check it out. I'll be posting my schedule on Twitter soon.
Kiana?
Man, that was one way to wrap that up. It had been an amazing experience to be running this series, and I'm very grateful for this cast of ladies, both here and the ones that we have seen in Volume 1 and 2. They're all amazing people. Please go check them out, because this is a very dark, intimate game, and to have people that trust you with that and be able to lovingly fuck up your friends is, it's a joy. I very much enjoyed it. It's very good. And yeah, if you didn't know, I'm running even more of these games, although with different casts. We have Volume 4 and 5 coming at the end of the month. Definitely tune into those because we may see some of our previous brides show up in them. So as we saw the bride from Volume 1 show up in this one, we're likely going to see this bride, this new horror that has been created in Bluebeard's home, to become something that's haunting the halls. So yes, end of the month, we have awesome casts for those, January 24th and January 27th. So keep an eye out on my Twitter, which is at Kiana S. Best way to figure out what I'm doing, because I'm all over the internet playing games almost every day of the week. I have a bunch of games that I play in and a couple that I run, but also most importantly, I am on the team for 2 really awesome channels. One, I am the charity stream coordinator for Unmade Gaming. We just announced that. So we raise money for Extra Life for kids. So I am the one that organizes all the GMs and players for that now. So if you're into wanting to do that, definitely hit me up and I will try to get you into a game. As well, Tales from the Grim, a new rebranded thing. We are rolling out all the awesome new shows. We have announcements starting on Monday for a Lady Blackbird campaign, which I'm very excited for, as well as a whole bunch of really awesome shows. So check out us over there. We've been working real hard behind the scenes to make this a nice collaborative place. But again, thank you everyone for tuning in to a wonderfully dark little stories about all these amazing people and, the true horrors that lie within ourselves and within society and within, just these tiny little stories we get to tell.
Thank you so much, Kiana, for running this game, and you wonderful ladies for playing it. I had so much fun. All of these games have been great. They've all felt special in their own way, and they've been a great time. I'm Katie. You can find me on Twitter at KatieFace. I do tons of games everywhere, running, playing in. I'm sort of like Lindy. I do way too much. It's a lot.
That's too much.
And Kiana, yeah, it's like we do way too much. Tonight on Off the Table though, twitch.tv/off the table, at 8 Central Time, we will be running along with its creator Alex Roberts. We'll be running For the Queen. It's a card-based game about you are defending this queen because you love her. So it's Off the Table's brand. It's about love and drama, and yeah. So tune in for that, and we will see you later. Bye, everybody.